Hugh, let's start with the first one, and that is, briefly, how many stars are actually in the universe right now?
Well, the observable universe contains about 50 billion trillion stars. And we know that thanks to the Hubble Ultra Deep Field, which actually showed us all the stars and galaxies that could possibly exist within a narrow window of space.
All right, now folks, the question is, are all these stars necessary, or did God just go overboard? And we're going to show you a clip of what's going on. I want you to watch.
A few tens of thousands of light years beyond the center of our Milky Way, we arrive at the halo, where most of the oldest stars reside. This earlier generation of stars is important in the construction of life-essential elements. These ancient stars, in one sense, are the forebears to our planet and to our own existence. As stars exhaust their fuel and die, they bequeath to us their ashes, the heavy elements needed for the next generation of stars and for planet building. Our Earth could not even exist without 9 billion years worth of ashes from dead and dying stars. Stars about the size of our Sun, or smaller, lose their outer layers gradually. When the last of their nuclear fuel supply is exhausted, all that remains is a burnt-out core like a cinder after a fire. These cinders, called white dwarfs, take over 10 billion years to cool and play a critical role in our existence. For only on the surface of a special white dwarf binary star is the life-essential element fluorine manufactured. Without fluorine, certain proteins would be unable to form, and life in the universe would be impossible. Even more remarkable is the fact that even with as many as 1 trillion galaxies in the universe, our galaxy, the Milky Way, is likely one of only a few where sufficient fluorine production sites exist. When a star larger than our Sun runs out of fuel, the outer gas shells undergo a sudden collapse. They crash into the core with enough momentum to ignite one final eruption, an explosion so intense that when it happens in our own galaxy, it's bright enough to be seen during daylight hours. This final cataclysmic blast, a supernova, produces many elements essential for life: carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, iron, copper, silver, and many others. It scatters them throughout the interstellar neighborhood to be absorbed later by star-producing gas and dust clouds. All of these various types of stars, in all of their various stages of life and death, play a vital role in our well-being. And far from being a waste, every minute of the past 14 billion years of star formation was necessary in order to enrich our planet with the elements that make life possible.
All right, Hugh, that's absolutely astonishing. And in the Bible, the first verse in the Bible, you have 10 words that encompass what we just saw. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We didn't know all of this stuff was going on until recently. And yet you're saying the star formation and how they burn the fuel is absolutely necessary for us, that once God puts man on the earth, creates us and puts us here, we need all that's been prepared ahead of time for us to exist.
Right, there are 98 elements that we see in the periodic table. We need the whole lot to have advanced life here on the planet Earth. And the total mass of the universe determines what elements you get in the first 4 minutes of the existence of the universe. And that precise ratio of hydrogen and helium determines what kind of elements future stars will build. And it takes 3 generations, successive generations of star formation in order to produce all the elements we need for life. For example, the uranium and thorium that we get from supernova is crucial for building the continents, so we can have both oceans and continents on the surface of Earth.
Why so many?
Why so many? Well, again, the total mass determines what mix of elements you get in the first 4 minutes. The total mass also determines how rapidly the universe will expand over its history. And it's important that the stars be a certain distance apart from one another in the narrow window of time in which human civilization can exist.